Try this. Listen to any sound around you. Notice how it's clearly not you. When thoughts arise in your mind, observe how they too are not you, they're just movements in awareness, like waves on an ocean. Pleasant and unpleasant feelings, mental images, even the sense of knowing itself, all are simply ripples in this vast openness. What remains is indescribable, neither light nor dark, either moving nor still. It's timelessly present, without beginning or end. This is our true nature, beyond all concepts of self and other, beyond birth and death. Imagine this. Our true nature has never been born and can never die. It precedes everything. If we could erase the entire universe, all light, all darkness, what would remain? Only pure awareness, utterly clear and empty, beyond coming and going. In this state, there is no time, no space, no separate things. Only pristine clarity. Think of the universe as appearing within boundless awareness, like waves in an ocean. Everything is unified, and this unity contains all things. We are not separate from this wholeness. There's no need to perfect it or maintain it, it's already complete. Our task is simply to recognize this truth continuously. When this understanding fully dawns, it often brings profound tears. Why? Because we realize that what we thought we were, a person of a certain gender, age, or identity, was just a temporary appearance. Our true nature is formless, beyond all categories and descriptions. Words themselves are just ripples in this vast awareness, tools for expression. Try this. Watch your inner experience closely. Notice how thoughts arise by themselves, like bubbles appearing and disappearing in space. Watch how emotions form and dissolve, how knowing happens spontaneously. Everything flows naturally, in a constant dance of appearing and vanishing. This pure awareness uses these temporary forms, thoughts, emotions, sensations, as tools for experiencing and knowing itself. Like a clear mirror reflecting whatever appears, our true nature remains untouched while expressing itself through all these changing forms. We are this timeless awareness, present before anything existed. When it encounters the universe's endless play of energies, it ripples with response and meaning. These ripples are thoughts, feelings, and perceptions are its natural expression, like waves on an ocean that has always been here. Picture our true nature as pure water. Just as water naturally responds to touch with ripples across its surface, our consciousness naturally responds to all experiences. When anything contacts this pure awareness, recognition happens instantly and effortlessly. Think about it. When food touches your tongue, knowing is immediate. When a sound occurs, hearing happens instantly. When temperature changes, sensation is automatic. Even internal experiences, thoughts, emotions, the inner voice are immediately known. This knowing happens by itself, naturally and perfectly. All these experiences, sensations, thoughts, emotions are like temporary tools used by our essential nature. Even this physical body is temporary, borrowed for a time. Like all material things, it appears and eventually dissolves. It's not permanent. When our essential nature deeply recognizes this truth, something profound happens. This is why it's valuable to encounter these teachings repeatedly 10 times, 100 times, even 1,000 times until the understanding breaks through completely. When it does, tears often flow freely. Why? Because we see clearly that nothing we previously identified with is actually us. We once thought this body was us. These thoughts were us. These emotions were us. But in truth, we are the pure, formless awareness in which all these experiences appear. When we release our attachment to body, thoughts, emotions, even to the sense of being aware, we find true freedom. In this freedom, all questions dissolve. We understand our true purpose and the meaning of our existence. Have you ever wondered why we were born? We often search outside ourselves for meaning, yet what we're seeking has always been here, within us, a pure, crystal clear awareness that is our true nature. But we've overlooked it, simply because no one showed us where to look. From our earliest moments, we were taught to focus externally. Our parents, with the best intentions, taught us to think, remember, and rely on our body, thoughts, and emotions as tools for survival. Our education system reinforced this, training us to memorize, analyze, and achieve external success. Gradually, we became completely absorbed in this outer world of doing and achieving. Consider this pattern in nature. A fish swims through life, focused only on finding food and surviving, never discovering its true essence. An earthworm burrows endlessly. A bird soars through skies searching for sustenance. Land animals roam in pursuit of their needs, all engaged in constant activity, yet unaware of their deeper nature. We humans often live similarly, caught up in our daily pursuits of shelter, security, and success, while remaining disconnected from our essential nature. When this physical form eventually dissolves, our pure awareness, still seeking self-recognition, may continue this journey through other forms. But in each manifestation, we tend to become absorbed in external experiences rather than turning inward to discover our true nature. This cycle continues endlessly, living, striving, searching outside ourselves, while the profound truth, the pure awareness that we already are, remains undiscovered within us. Consider this: every being in existence shares the same true nature, pure, clear awareness. Like space itself, this awareness has no form yet contains all forms. It inhabits different vessels, bodies, minds, sensory experiences, all serving one ultimate purpose: to know itself. But something interesting happens after birth. We become completely absorbed in survival. Our days become an endless cycle: eating, sleeping, waking, repeating. Like being caught in a circular path, walking the same route again and again. When one body ends, awareness flows into another, and the cycle continues: new body, same patterns of seeking food, rest, and survival. In this cycle, life becomes filled with struggle. We compete, fight, and harm each other over resources. Why? Because we deeply believe this body is us. We think we are these human forms, these thoughts, these emotions. We claim everything as me and mine, unaware that we are actually pure awareness using these forms to understand itself. Have you noticed there's always a feeling of searching, of wanting something more? Even as we age, this feeling persists. It drives conflicts, creates anger, fuels hatred. We fight over land, resources, and possessions. We hurt each other because we're caught in the illusion that these temporary things are who we are. But what if we could recognize our true nature? How would it change the way we live and relate to each other? Here's a profound truth: within every being exists a pure, clear awareness. The voice you hear speaking, whether outside or in your mind, is simply a natural process happening, not you. You are the clear awareness in which all experiences appear. Thoughts, images, emotions, even the sense of being aware, these are all just natural phenomena flowing through this awareness. Think of it this way: when someone insults us, what happens? Instantly, anger flares up. We might cry, argue, or lie awake at night, our heart burning with emotion, our mind unable to rest. But what is an insult really? Just sound waves, as intangible as the wind. Can you catch and hold the wind in your hand? If we could see that words are like breezes passing through space, that thoughts and emotions are equally insubstantial, why would we grip them so tightly? It's this gripping, this taking things to be solid and personal, that creates our daily struggles, conflicts, and pain. Our essence is like the vast sky. Thoughts and emotions are like clouds passing through it. The sky isn't harmed by any cloud, no matter how stormy. But when we forget our sky-like nature and identify with the passing weather, we suffer. Think about this. When a sound occurs, an emotional response follows automatically: pleasure or displeasure, like a sophisticated robot responding to input. Just as we wouldn't confuse a robot's reactions with our true nature, these automatic responses aren't our deepest essence. Try this simple observation. Right now, hearing happens by itself. You don't need to try to hear. Sound is simply known. When walking, you might encounter a pleasant or unpleasant smell. Notice how recognition happens automatically. The same is true for all experiences: seeing, tasting, feeling, temperature, even internal dialogue and thinking. Everything functions naturally by itself. When we truly grasp this, even once, we experience what could be called nature recognizing nature. It's like an ocean becoming aware of its own waves. The wave isn't separate from the ocean, it's the ocean moving, recognizing its own movement. Look closely at your experience right now. What is aware of these words? What knows your thoughts and feelings as they arise? This clear, knowing presence is already here, waiting to be recognized. This is perhaps humanity's deepest challenge. We might master countless subjects, accumulate vast knowledge, yet still suffer. Often, the more we learn about the external world, the more complicated our lives become. But there's an inner truth waiting to be discovered, a profound treasure of immeasurable value. Consider this. When we truly let go and observe deeply, we discover that our entire understanding of the body is shaped by language. The word leg tells us what this part is. But look closely, does that part of the body itself say, "I am a leg"? Words tell us left leg or right leg. But does that thing itself declare what it is? Try this experiment. Open and close your hand. What's actually there? Just pure sensation, just feeling. The sensation doesn't label itself, it simply is. This direct knowing is the natural function of awareness, perceiving without words. It's a silent, immediate recognition. Yet immediately, language steps in, naming everything. Left leg, right arm, my body. Look around at the world, nothing actually speaks for itself. Things simply exist, and awareness simply knows them, before words create meanings. The voice in our mind constantly labels. This is a wall, that's a fan, this is my house, that's my car, these are my family members. But do any of these things actually declare ownership? Look carefully, everything is simply known in a clear, spacious awareness before language assigns meaning and ownership. When this truth really hits home, it often brings tears of relief, of liberation. It's like discovering you've been carrying a heavy backpack your whole life, and suddenly realizing you can put it down. There's a profound lightness in seeing how we've been caught in a web of labels and concepts that were never actually necessary. Notice how liberating it feels when you begin to loosen your identification with the body. It's as if a quarter of your burden has lifted. Keep observing. Watch how emotions simply flow by themselves. Pleasant ones arise and fade. Unpleasant ones come and go, all on their own. You don't need to manage them. Just watch their natural rhythm. When this really sinks in, you might find tears flowing as another layer of weight dissolves. You're now 50% lighter, freer from emotional attachment. Look at the mental images that appear in your mind, they're just natural phenomena doing their thing. Listen to your inner voice, it speaks and fades by itself, word after word, like waves on a shore. Keep turning your attention inward, away from external distractions. As you maintain this inner watching, you might suddenly realize, wait, these thoughts and this voice are happening by themselves. This insight often hits like lightning, bringing tears and profound questions. If the voice speaks by itself, who is speaking? If what I thought was me isn't me, then who am I really? This understanding releases another layer of the self-concept. Now you're 75% lighter. But there's still something subtle remaining, the sense of being the knower. Here's an experiment. While walking peacefully, a car horn suddenly honks. In that instant of hearing, ask yourself, who is aware of this sound? In this questioning, something extraordinary can happen. The sound, the awareness, and the whole world might seem to dissolve into vast emptiness. It's as if you've been completely freed from everything, resting in boundless silence. Finally, even the sense of being, the one who knows, dissolves. We see that awareness knows by itself, it's not our knowing. In this recognition, we realize we are the formless essence of life itself, pure and clear. A startling truth emerges. We were never actually born into this world. We've never been bound to it at all. This understanding often brings overwhelming tears because in that moment, the illusion of a separate self falls away completely. We recognize that we are this pure essence of life that has been searching for itself through countless lifetimes, using various bodies and experiences as tools for self-discovery. When this truth is fully realized, freedom dawns naturally. We understand that genuine peace can only emerge when everyone recognizes their true nature. When we all see that this world is dreamlike, there's no need for conflict, competition, or harm. Nothing is truly mine or yours. From this understanding comes a natural desire to share this wisdom. Why? Because we've found the end of suffering and want others to discover this freedom too. The pure essence itself never suffers, it's inherently free from all conditions. Interestingly, daily life continues as before. Thoughts arise, the inner voice speaks, emotions flow, awareness functions. But there's a crucial difference. There's no self claiming these experiences. They happen by themselves, naturally and freely. This truth, once realized, becomes permanently etched in our being. We understand with absolute clarity that we are this pure, empty awareness, and everything else is simply appearing within it. From this understanding, we live in the world but without being bound by it. We naturally want to share this wisdom, gently encouraging others. There's no need for conflict, no need for harm. The path to this realization is remarkably simple, though often overlooked. Turn your attention inward. Observe how the inner voice speaks by itself. It's not you. Let it function naturally, whether speaking silently or aloud. Let mental images come and go like clouds in the sky. Don't grasp at emotions, let them flow freely. Allow all sensory experiences, tasting, hearing, seeing, feeling, to happen by themselves. Just watch, without attaching to any of it. The body too is a natural phenomenon, destined to age, get sick, and eventually dissolve. When this body ends, the pure essence of life, now recognized, won't seek another form. It merges with the infinite, becoming immortal awareness, vast, boundless, and eternally pure. This essence that we are transcends all description. The voice, body, thoughts, emotions, and even the sense of knowing are tools for functioning in this worldly dream. But our true nature, pure, empty awareness, has no limits, no roles, no identity. It's the ultimate source, the ground of all existence. The entire universe, with its countless stars, suns, and black holes, appears within this boundless awareness that we are. Consider this: everything arises within pure, boundless awareness. The birth of stars, solar flares, the dance of galaxies, even the most destructive forces all appear and dissolve within this pristine, empty clarity that we are. Yet we remain untouched by all of it. Think of space, clear, intangible, impossible to grasp. Within it, air molecules move, oxygen and carbon dioxide flow. Violent storms may rage, yet space itself remains completely unaffected. The storm exists within space, but space is unchanged by any weather. It's like the ocean and its inhabitants. Countless sea creatures live in water. They may fight, hunt, or harm each other. The water might form massive waves or devastating tsunamis. Blood, waste, and debris may dissolve into it. Yet the essential nature of water remains pure and unchanged. We are like this limitless space or vast ocean. Good people and bad people may pass through, storms of emotion may rage, acts of creation or destruction may unfold, but our essential nature remains untouched, like space that cannot be stained or water that cannot be scarred. Even if the entire world were to be destroyed, this pure awareness that we are would remain pristine and unharmed. Can you sense this? We are this boundless, clear essence, forever free, untouchable, and unchanged by anything that appears within it. We are pure, clear awareness. Even in our most intense moments, whether rage or joy, this pristine essence remains untouched and unchanging. When we truly understand this, sharing this wisdom becomes natural and urgent. This knowledge should reach everyone, from young children to elders, from families to communities, from schools to workplaces. It's a truth that we've never been taught from birth, yet it's essential for human flourishing. Parents should share it with children, teachers with students, leaders with their teams. Everyone should know about this pure, clear essence waiting to be discovered within. Consider how we suffer. We identify with a voice that has never belonged to anyone. We're troubled by mental images that have no substance. We're overwhelmed by emotions that are simply natural phenomena arising and passing. We cling to perceptions that are just natural processes functioning by themselves. When the pure essence of life, which has been entangled with these phenomena for so long, finally recognizes its true nature, it releases all attachments. It's like a lotus breaking free from its stem, completely liberated. This essence then merges with the infinite universe, understanding that everything is one, and one is everything. Think of a tiny seed containing the potential for an enormous tree. Who would guess that such a small thing could hold within it a towering giant with countless branches, flowers, and fruits? Similarly, this pure essence within us contains the entire universe. Call it what you will: consciousness, soul, pure awareness, the name doesn't matter. What matters is sharing this understanding. When people turn inward and recognize their true nature, genuine peace emerges. Criticism, gossip, and conflict naturally fade. Even while engaging with the world, we can remain grounded in this inner truth, living in harmony with all that is. Life is like a tiny seed that contains the potential for a massive tree. Just as that small seed holds within it the blueprint for branches, flowers, and fruits, the pure awareness within us contains and connects to the entire universe. This essence, whether we call it consciousness, mind, or spirit, is inherently clear and boundless. From waking to sleeping, let's understand this fundamental truth. When we observe our inner experience, we begin to see that awareness itself isn't personal. Emotions, sounds, thoughts, these are like waves on an ocean. As we watch carefully, we notice how everything functions automatically. Speaking happens by itself, thinking occurs on its own, emotions arise and pass naturally. When this really hits home, tears often flow and a profound lightness emerges. Think of it this way: our essential nature is formless, but we've loaded ourselves down with heavy identifications. We carry emotions, mental images, internal dialogue, the sense of being a knower, and this physical body. It's like carrying multiple heavy backpacks. When we realize that our sense of having a body comes from mental labeling, we can put down the first backpack 25% lighter. Everything we think exists: trees, houses, possessions, relationships, appears through mental labeling. Nothing actually declares what it is. There's just pure knowing, and then language creates our world. When we see how our inner voice constructs our entire reality, another weight drops: we're 50% lighter. As we continue observing, we see that emotions function naturally. They don't call themselves happiness or suffering. These labels come from thought. When this is clearly seen, more weight falls away, bringing tears of relief and an even greater sense of lightness. Look at the remaining 50%. Watch the constant stream of inner dialogue and thought. Observe how it chatters endlessly, sometimes until our head aches. When we're alone and quiet, notice how thoughts arise by themselves. When will I ever find peace? Or, maybe I should take the kids to see the giraffes. Along with these thoughts come mental images, appearing spontaneously. When we suddenly catch this voice speaking or these images appearing, we realize we're not creating them. They're happening by themselves, like a radio playing automatically. When this recognition really hits home, another 25% of our burden falls away. Now we're 75% lighter. More tears might flow as this understanding deepens. At this stage, you'll find yourself constantly aware of thoughts arising. You're watching the show of consciousness continuously. Then a deeper question emerges. Who is the one watching? Who is it that sees, hears, smells, tastes, and feels? Who is aware of all this? It's like our pure, clear awareness has awakened to itself. In this awakening, it sees everything arising naturally. Even the very act of knowing happens by itself. For example, a stomach growls, awareness of the sensation arises, then a thought labels it hungry. We see how each element functions automatically: the sensation, the knowing, the labeling. None of it requires a self to operate. When final understanding dawns, it's like a sudden electrical explosion. Imagine pulling hard on a high-voltage wire until it snaps, creating a brilliant flash. That's what this moment of realization feels like. The mind becomes extraordinarily bright, as if breaking free from an ancient bondage. Think about how we've been carrying this heavy weight: 100% of our false identification. First we drop 25%, feeling lighter. Then another 50%, even lighter. Then 75%, lighter still. Finally, the last 25% falls away, a complete release of everything we've been carrying. For so long, we've been searching for ways to let go, but couldn't find the key. Now we understand we simply needed to see that none of it was ever us. Our essential nature is pure, clear awareness, but we wrapped ourselves in layers of identification, making ourselves heavy with false beliefs. When we recognize our true nature as boundless awareness, one with the infinite universe, an incredible lightness dawns. This recognition often brings profound tears. Some people cry for days, even a week. It's not sadness, but the deepest relief imaginable. This is real, this is possible. The only task is to see through the ignorance that has kept our true nature hidden. When our essential nature doesn't recognize itself, a fundamental misunderstanding occurs. Instead of knowing ourselves as pure awareness, we mistakenly identify with temporary forms. We think we are this body, but the body is merely a vessel destined to dissolve. Without this recognition, awareness moves from form to form. Like a dreamer taking on different roles, we might experience being a fish, believing, I am this fish. Then perhaps a frog, a bird, or other creatures, each time fully identifying with that temporary form. We might declare, I am a man, in one life, only to experience being a woman in another. The pure awareness, not yet knowing its true nature, immediately identifies with whatever form it inhabits. But when we realize our true nature, tears often flow with this profound understanding. We see that we were never truly born, never actually became a man or woman. These identities are simply labels created by thought. You are this person, you have this name. But our essential nature has no name, no form, no beginning. This pure awareness wasn't created by parents. It wasn't born and cannot die. It is the clear, pristine consciousness that has always been here, the original nature of all beings. When this recognition dawns, tears come naturally. These aren't tears of sadness, but of seeing through an illusion we've been caught in for so long. It's like awakening from an immersive virtual reality game where we completely forgot who we were, believing ourselves to be the character we were playing. Think of someone who's been playing a game for years, totally identified with their character, experiencing all its ups and downs as their own. Then suddenly they wake up and realize, was I really lost in this game all this time? Why did I suffer over something that wasn't real? Why did I neglect my true nature for this illusion? This understanding is like coming home, returning to our true nature that was always here. In this recognition, suffering naturally falls away because there's no longer a separate self to suffer. When this truth is seen, there's a natural desire to share it with others, to help them find this same freedom. This essential nature we're discovering is timeless, dimensionless, and eternally pure. Its clarity is beyond anything we can imagine, more brilliant than millions of lights, yet completely clear and transparent. This brilliance isn't physical light, but the radiance of pure knowing, the light of understanding itself. This luminous awareness is knowledge itself, not knowledge of things, but the knowing presence in which all experience appears. It's infinitely bright yet completely clear, endlessly radiating while remaining pristine and pure. When we realize our true nature, peace naturally flows. This understanding spreads organically. Teachers share it with students, parents with children, friends with friends. The awakening can happen quickly for some, within days, while others might need weeks or months. What matters is persistence, not speed. The key is simple but profound: let go. Release your grip on knowledge, memories, and concepts. Don't rely on intellectual understanding. Simply observe that thoughts, memories, and emotions arise by themselves. They're not you. True awakening comes with humility because it sees there's no separate self to claim achievement. It expresses itself as natural compassion and a desire to share this freedom with everyone. This understanding can transform entire communities. Imagine, one person awakens and naturally shares their discovery, moved to tears by its profound simplicity. This touches others, who also awaken, and gradually a new way of seeing spreads. People begin speaking the same language of truth and freedom, creating waves of collective transformation. This teaching, though simple, has been overlooked. Once understood, we naturally become like signposts pointing others toward their own freedom. Not because we're special, but because we've seen something so obvious and liberating that we can't help but share it. In this recognition, conflict naturally dissolves. Instead of fighting over resources or territory, we share and support each other. We can still enjoy life's prosperity and comforts, but without the burden of attachment. This peace transcends all boundaries: national, religious, social, and cultural. Let's share this understanding widely. Not to create followers, but to invite everyone to discover the freedom that's already here, waiting to be recognized. I can tell you with absolute certainty, if you listen to these teachings daily, consistently, you will come to understand your true nature. Here's how to observe throughout your day. The moment you wake up, watch what happens. A thought appears. What time is it? Notice how this voice arises by itself and fades away. Then, as you get out of bed, observe the sensations of stretching, the feeling of wanting to stay in bed longer. Watch how the inner voice speaks. I don't want to get up, I want to sleep more. See how each element, thoughts, sensations, emotions appears and dissolves by itself, functioning automatically? Watch carefully and you'll notice that none of these passing phenomena are you. They're just natural occurrences happening by themselves. Start by recognizing your essential nature as pure, clear awareness. From this recognition, observe how all experiences appear as external phenomena: sounds, images, emotions, and even the act of knowing itself. Watch carefully from this inner vantage point. Follow your morning routine with this awareness. Getting up, going to the bathroom, brushing teeth, notice how sensations arise and are known automatically. While brushing, feeling happens by itself. When water touches your face, coolness is registered naturally. Watch how thoughts appear. What should I eat today? Then mental images might arise spontaneously. Eggs, maybe an omelet, or sunny side up with rice, or in a hamburger. Notice how these images appear and disappear by themselves. Even the feeling of satisfaction that follows arises on its own. While cooking, notice how different experiences unfold. The aroma of food is detected automatically. A cat's meow is heard, triggering an internal response. Are you hungry, little one? Watch how thoughts shift to work. I have a meeting today, complete with mental images of future scenarios. See how the mind is already jumping ahead, creating images of events that haven't happened yet? All of this happens by itself, naturally. Watch how the mind continues to create scenarios. This weekend, we'll take the family to the beach, go hiking in the mountains. See how these images appear? Notice how each thought brings its own emotional tone. These phenomena continue all day long. When eating, observe how it all happens automatically. Taste is registered, judgments arise. This is delicious, this is too spicy, this is too hot. The knowing and evaluating happen by themselves. Wherein all this is a separate self? Even now, as you hear these words, notice how hearing happens effortlessly. You don't need to try to hear, hearing occurs by itself. Understanding of language happens naturally, without effort. When this is clearly seen, tears often flow. A startling recognition dawns. Is there really nothing that's me? Even this very understanding, is it happening by itself? Yes, even understanding occurs naturally by itself. Keep observing this process carefully, and listen to these teachings repeatedly. Each time you listen, your understanding deepens. This wisdom gradually penetrates your heart until the pure essence of life awakens to itself. When this awakening happens, there's a profound recognition. Everything we thought was us is simply a natural phenomenon appearing and disappearing. Our true nature is revealed as pure, boundless awareness, utterly clear and free. This realization often comes like an explosive moment of clarity. Imagine high-voltage cables suddenly separating. There's a brilliant flash of understanding, a radical release from everything we thought we were. It's an indescribable liberation, revealing something extraordinary that was always here but overlooked. The freedom and clarity that emerge are beyond anything we could have imagined. It's the discovery of our true nature, more intimate than our closest thought, yet vaster than the universe. No matter how extraordinary these experiences may seem, remember the essential truth: nothing we can perceive or experience is actually us. We are the pure awareness in which all experiences appear clear, pristine, and boundless. In this recognition comes complete freedom from all attachment. This understanding brings a natural end to seeking. When we recognize our true nature, we naturally want to help others discover this same freedom. As this recognition spreads, genuine peace emerges. There's no more need for conflict or harm because we see that nothing is truly ours to defend or protect. Life becomes naturally light and harmonious. We can enjoy relationships and experiences without being bound by them. We live in peace, sharing this understanding that frees us from all suffering. May all beings, regardless of nationality, race, religion, gender, or age, discover this truth that's already present within them. May this recognition bring lasting peace and clarity to everyone. Thank you for engaging with these teachings. If you've found them valuable, please consider sharing them with others who might benefit from this understanding. Together, we can help this wisdom reach those who are ready to recognize their true nature.